And because of that, I had local photographers like in Sacramento that lived there, like Jeff Landy, shoot photos of me. Like I'd skate something, he's like, "Hey, guys, shoot a photo." I'm like, "Sure, I don't give a shit." Shoot a photo, and then he'd run in the mag, and then a photo here and a photo there. And all of a sudden, I got a phone call from World Industries. And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, are you writing for anyone?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Well, I don't know. We just want to see if you want to fly up and like we want to send you stuff." And I was like, "Shit, really cool. I'm not really trying to write for anybody. Cool, all right." So they put me on a trip. I skated with all these guys, and it was weird too. At the same time, it was a weird crew. At the same time, it was cool too. Like little Sheckler was there. He was a rad little kid, and he was always like, it was before, it was just a little guy, and he was like, "Oh, this kid's cool, and this guy's cool," and it was a weird crew though. Anyway, it didn't work out for me over at World Industries, and I wasn't mad at it. I was psyched that they sent me out anyway, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, I got hit up by the guys at Deluxe, and they hit me up and they were like, "Hey, well, what do you want to? We want you to ride for Rasa Libre." It was like Reese Forbes saw me skating, and then Reese Forbes told those guys at Deluxe. They started hitting me up. They sent me stuff, and I remember I'm like, "Fuck, dude, Deluxe is awesome." I've always been a big fan, and I met the guys, Jim, Mickey, and Darren, and I was like so used to the idea of how Todd Swank and how those guys would call me and tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd send them footage, and they'd be like, "Hey, do you think you can do this instead of that?" Like, and so they kind of were like forming me into like a handrail skater back then. Like that's how I hurt my knee. And anyway, so going to Deluxe, they were just like, I remember going to them. I was like, "Hey," because they wanted me to do an ad, and I was like, "Well, what do you want me to skate? What do you want me to do?" So used to that. Like, dude, we don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want to do. And that's when it all began. That's when I started fucking going to the hills and bombing hills. And that's when the real me was, that's who I was in the beginning when I was a little kid. Jumping into dirt mounds and making garbage explode because I was into that. Like, yeah. I'd put stacks of garbage down ramps and just ollie, and I have footage. It's pretty funny. Wearing 2 different shoes. Because I couldn't afford them at the time, and I'd go through them so quick. But I had footage of me jumping through garbage and just making it explode at the end. I was into that, just having fun. And so when they told me I could do whatever the fuck I want to do, I remember we went to my first ad was a Rasa Libre ad. I jumped this huge gap into a spool, a wire spool, into a doorway. And it was sketchy as shit for me. I almost ate shit all the time.
I remember that ad. That was a rad ad.
Thanks. And thanks to Deluxe, they let me, the way they believe in skating and how everyone should do it is how you want to do it. And that's what they brought me back to what I wanted to, because they told me I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. I mean, I love Anti-Hero, I love Real, I love Crooked, I love all the brands. But that's when, Dylan left Rasa Libre and he went for Alien. I was like, that's so cool. I was